Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. It's Friday. Yesterday was a dark Thursday. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Hashtag Johnny's Bite. The question on my mind this morning is Ghana disaster ready beyond Inshallah and Takashi? That's the question I'm asking. Is Ghana disaster ready beyond Inshallah and Takashi, which seems to have become our specialty? Yesterday we had the sad issue around the Bogoso area, the Apiati area, and the sad events that came up tells us that obviously we are not ready. Now hold on. Follow my lead. It tells us that we are not ready. And because we are not ready, we will always have to come back to do firefighting. I've seen a statement from the Ministry of Information. I've seen a statement from the Tirano Mines that's telling us that, literally, pull that statement up for me from the mines. Literally trying to distance themselves from whatever has happened. Rightly so. But you see, the point is this. We all know the sad incident that has happened. And we are all now aware that whatever explosives were being carried to that mine. People have died. Gory photos and videos. I don't want to show them. I am so livid this morning. Is Ghana disaster ready? Oliver, add the beyond Inshallah and Takashi, add it to the super. Let those who have been clothed with responsibility see. This is what the company wrote. It's an international company, by the way. And it says explosion on Takwa Bogosu Road. Chirano, January 2022. A truck, listen to the English. A truck under the supervision of and belonging to, they're distancing themselves already. A truck under the supervision of and belonging anyway, was involved in a collision causing an explosion near the town of Bogosu. The vehicle was headed to Chirano, approximately 140 kilometers away from the site during the incident. We are closely monitoring the situation and the rescue effort. So the people who died, they have died in vain. This, for me as a PR practitioner, this is what it means. There's no commiseration with the bereaved families. An entire community has been blown away. And we know that by our own regulation, LI 2177, the Minerals and Explosive Act 2012, we know it. We set up that law for ourselves. Activate that law for me, Danny. We set up a whole law. Minerals and Mining Explosive Regulation 2012, LI 2177. We have all of it. How to apply, Chief Inspector of Explosive and Inspectors of Explosive, powers and duties of an inspector, reporting of incidents and accidents, powers of the Chief Inspector to prepare guidelines, management of explosives, contravention of these regulations, operating plans, explosive operating plans, types of explosive we have written all of this. Plenty English. We do very well. We write all the nice English, but when we finish, we don't do what we have to do. And I'll expose a lot of things for you this morning. Share the hashtag Johnny's Bite. I'm asking this morning, is Ghana disaster ready beyond Inshallah and Takashi? Because that's all we seem to be doing. Where are the evacuation centers this morning? We are begging for people to open their churches and the schools. Schools have reopened. The children will go to schools. The churches would like to hold their services. The mosque would like to pray. Today is Friday. It's Juma. Where are our evacuation centers? Because in any serious country where they are disaster ready, they have evacuation centers. I remember when June 3 disaster broke in 2015, we said that we're going to set up evacuation centers. In fact, it was Mayor Ajesoa later who came on and set up about 16 or so points in Accra and named them as evacuation centers. Today, most of them have become football parks. They were actually football parks. We have, if you like, fine-tuned it. And I dare say that people would not have gone to the Goa filling station if they had evacuation centers to go to. We saw what happened in Ketu South and Angloga. They are begging us to give them evacuation centers. We are asking them to move to higher grounds. Today we are asking for people to open their schools and churches and mosques. We are not disaster ready. Now we have this law, which I didn't promulgate this law. It's our 275 parliamentarians who did this for us. In their own wisdom, they decided that we needed a law like this to be able to protect all of us. They put this together, all this law. Fuel to be carried only in a fuel tank, explosive not to be carried in a cab, all of it. Explosive not to be carried in a cab, explosive compartment to be cleaned, conveyed, authorized vehicle requirements, all of it. Everything that we had to do to prevent this unfortunate thing from happening, from the vehicle carrying the explosives not to have even collided with the Aboboya. We have it in this law, this particular law. We write plenty English. We speak, Mr. Speaker, honorable, yes sir, honorable. We speak, we say all those things. And then when we finish, this is what we have for ourselves. Now the question I'm asking is, why were the explosives being transported in that manner? Were there escorts? Were there police escorts? Were there escorts who were specialists per our standard operation procedure? Did they have police escorts? Did they go through police checkpoints? Did they go through police checkpoints? Because there are police checkpoints in this country. They'll stop you, they'll check your license, they'll check your insurance, and then sometimes they'll wait for you to give them something small. They'll tell you the weekend is coming. They tell you they need to buy torchlight batteries. They tell you the weather is cold, they need to drink coffee. Did they go through police checkpoints? When they moved the thing from that location in Takwa and they were heading for the Chirano mines, did they go through any police checkpoint? That's what I'm asking. Because if per our law, they are supposed to have a police escort, and they didn't have a police escort, and the police saw the truck and decided that they have to go through it, it tells you that we are not disaster ready. We're just doing Inshallah and Takashi. And if you do that, you will die. That is why some people have died. And every single year, the Barry Dam, Burkina Faso, they will open it. Then people's farms will be destroyed. People will be displaced. The next year will come back. Same narrative. We are not disaster ready, I'm telling you. I am telling you, and it's because we politicize everything. It raises questions about public safety and protection. We have this law, a whole law, how to handle and transport this. If you've lived in a barracks, you know how explosives are handled. Why were they transporting it in a hot afternoon, for example, and through a densely populated town? Who was watching? Who was supervising? Who signed it off? Who permitted it? Where were the specialists on the transportation trail? Was there an advanced vehicle to check and tell them that, look, this place is not safe for you to go through? Was there an advanced vehicle? Were there escorts? That's the question. The first question I'm asking. Were there escorts as is per a standard operation procedure? And I don't want anybody to be explaining this away in English. Yes or no? Were there escorts? Yes or no? Finish. Did they go through police checkpoints? Yes or no? Did the police see it? Yes or no? The relevant agencies who should have been alerted that we are taking such a quantum of explosive through this town where innocent human beings live and have lived and were born and bred and depend on it for their heritage, culture, and tradition. Did we alert? Did we activate those things? It makes me think that the country sometimes is running on autopilot. It looks like we are running on autopilot, and if it's not the case that we are running on autopilot, the Interior Ministry should be speaking to us, because the Interior Ministry is in charge of a National Disaster Management Organization, another institution. Yesterday, I'm told they did very well. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to the fire service. Congratulations to the police service. But I'm asking these questions regardless. The Interior Ministry that manages the National Disaster Management Organization, manages the Ghana Police Service, Fire Service as well. They should be telling us a thing or two. At this time, they should be telling us a thing or two if we are not a country on autopilot. EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, you should be answering questions. Minerals Commission, you should be answering questions. This law, LI 2177, this same law that dictates how things should be done, this very same law that dictates how things should be done, carrying explosives and all of that, everything is spelled out. How it should be inspected, how it should be transported, who should be accompanying it, the escorts, the experts, the timing, everything is in this law. You give this law. So now, the people who have died, I'm asking, are we running the country on autopilot? Because people go to work, they are inspectors, they are chief inspectors, they are whatever. This morning, they'll go to work. What kind of communication happened between Takwa and the Chirano mines? Because the people living there, they won't know what you are carrying. They are innocent citizens. They are not experts. They are not experts. They are innocent citizens. And this is what we do in this country. We politicize everything. Yesterday, I had Abu Ramadan speaking on another media house, and he kept telling us, it's a possibility, and that, the regional NADBO has activated their thing, the district NADBO has activated their processes, and now the national NADBO will go there, blah, blah, blah. But the question of ambulances will not be a problem, because by the wisdom of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, we have 307 ambulances, and they will all be right. When you do that, you are inviting the other side to also politicize it, because they will also start telling you how many ambulances they bought. People's lives are at stake. Can we heal them? Can we sustain them? Can we stabilize them first before we start the politicization? The elections are over. They ended in December 2020. We will not have another election until 2024. That is why you are in government. That's why you have the peace of mind to be able to run the affairs of state. And once you start running the affairs of state, it is no longer Matrai Makwe like what Black Stars did to us. It is no longer Matrai Makwe. And that's why I need for us to look at NADBO again. Who do we put at the National Disaster Management Organization? Who do we put in there? It's become job for boys and girls, and we've been talking about it. I tell you a critical example. When the Ketu South and Angloga thing happened, and I'm told the president has tweeted, vice president has tweeted, ex-president Mahama has tweeted as well. The tweets, he tweets. As for the tweet, you can tweet. But you need to start scratching the people where they itch. When the thing happened in Ketu South, Keta Angloga, disaster, 4,000 of your citizens have been affected. Up until now, nobody has gone there. The president, they are calling yesterday, those were the reactions on social media. Maybe your social media guys have not told you. They say you have not been there. It looks like you don't care about them. Somebody said yesterday the president should have been in an helicopter and gone all the way to Apiate and gone there to commiserate with the people. Are we disaster ready? I don't think so. This morning, where are the shelters? Because the people in Ketu North, Ketu South, Angloga and Ketchup, the same questions they asked. When we went there, they asked us, they said, look, we have enough food now. What we are looking for are places that we can lay our heads, because now the attendant effect of what happened is that open defecation has become a mainstay. This happened in May. It happened again later in September or so. It happened in December, and we all were watching. On November, we all were watching. Up until now, ask me if NADBO has gone to put up any shelter for them to lay, because the matter is dead. And we do so well with this. We form committee, we talk blah, 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 blah. They do report. We are not disaster ready. Can you imagine and perish the thought if what happened at Apiate near Bogoso on the way from Takwa to the Chirano mines, if what happened there happens at 6 different locations in this country, can we be talking about 307 ambulances? Because the truth of the matter is that 307 ambulances is inadequate for the population that we have. That's a fact. Check the UN figures. We signed on to it. He's saying providing 307 ambulances is bad. I applauded the president for that. I applauded the previous president for also getting some ambulances and all. But I'm saying that 307 ambulances now is not supposed to be the bragging right. That is how the place looks like now. What's on your screen? A whole town has been blown away. A whole town has been blown away. People's legs have been detached from their bodies. People are dead. People are buried. And you see, the job of the National Disaster Management Organization is to prevent disaster. That's the first job. Danny played a video of the people moving towards the site of the disaster. How well have we sensitized our people that when fire breaks there? I saw that in June 2015, 3rd June. I saw it. I just closed from my job at TV Africa at the time. I'd gone to Circle to find food to eat, bachelor. Then I saw the fire. I saw people moving towards it. We were filming from a distance because we had the benefit of a camera that could zoom in. And people were moving towards the fire where people were dying. People were moving there. They wanted to see Fili Gadochi. No, let's not play the circle video. Let's go back to let's not dilute the conversation. Let's go back to what you are pitching. This is it. So they saw the fire. The first explosion had happened. And then they were still moving close to the explosion. Obibini, black man, Modin, moving towards the place. And it is because we have not sensitized them, just like we have not done in the area of tourism. There are tourist sites. The people who live around it are not plugging in to get money. This is it. This is what we have. They are seeing the disaster and they are walking towards the disaster. Because our swiftness level in terms of managing disasters in this country is woeful. We are always reactive. And I'm saying that before these kind of explosives move from one point to the other, somebody at EPA should have been in the know. Somebody at Minerals Commission should have been in the know. A police escort must have come with them. In fact, even the mining company where the thing was going should have had an escort on board. So where were the escorts? Now, come back to studio. Do we have consumables? And I'm learning from how disaster happens in this country. Do we have these consumables? Where, for example, rice, oil, all those things that usually NADBO will share for them, it takes time. We saw it in Keta, Ketu South, and Loga and all those. We saw it, how it took NADBO forever to go and take food to them. At some point, we felt pressured to go and solicit for food, collect food, and go and give it to them in trucks. Even what we took there in trucks as a private entity, in trucks. Do we have the consumables this morning to give to them? Beyond the shelters and the evacuation centers, do you have consumables? This morning, I want to hear from the Ghana Health Service and the Ministry of Health how the hospitals are holding up. Because it's an intersectoral, and you see, some ministers are not made cabinet ministers for the fun of it. They are made cabinet ministers because when a crunch meeting is called, your job is critical. Defense is critical. Interior is critical. Education is critical. Health is critical. This morning we're asking for schools to make their classrooms available for victims to be housed. What is the education ministry's plan? Because the children are back in school, to make sure that the children are not roaming around and possibly going to those places that perhaps there could be residual explosion. That's the conversation we need to be having. We are asking for people to donate blood. What is the effort? Did we have a plan to say that if this happens here, these are our prospective list of donors that we have created a certain relationship with that we could fall upon? And we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. Other countries have done it. We say we are a developing country. The developed countries have done it. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. This morning, where is the psychological support for the victims? Because if you live in a place and all of a sudden by afternoon your whole village is blown away, you yourself you are hurt, or you escaped for good reason or by the grace of God, and now you have relocated to another place, who is locating you to give you psychological support? Because you could have lost all your family and it could just be left with you. Who is locating you to talk to you, to speak to you? Go to the Volta region and go and check. Go to the Bagri Dam area and go and check. What kind of psychological support do we give to people who get into disaster? It can happen to anybody. What happened at Apiate? It can happen to anybody. Like I said, in the matter of mental illness, people roaming the street, it can happen to you as well. If you don't talk up, if you don't speak up, it can happen to you. It can happen to anybody. Disaster is disaster. But sometimes it is calamitous because we bring it upon ourselves. I've shown you the law. We don't have enough time. I've shown you the law, and I will be on this matter because we need to have a certain audit. You see, last week we were talking about the matter that happened in Fiji, the ambulance and all of that, which is also a disaster by my definition, a pure disaster. We pick somebody from Fiji, we are bringing the person to Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The person dies midway, and up until now, we are so lackadaisical that the man is in pain. We have not provided psychological support. We have not held the audit, and we have left everything as if it's okay. Medical negligence and everything is okay. It's okay. They are demanding the ambulance that we are bragging about these days. They were demanding 600 cedis from the man to be able to buy fuel, and we have left it. We are not even talking about it. Today is exactly more than one week after the incident happened. We have not done the audit. We are waiting. I say we are not disaster ready as a country. If you doubt me, ask me where the Ministry for Gender, Children and Social Protection is. The substantive minister, we all know what happened, why she went on leave. She had sacked the school feeding program coordinator. Then she was told, don't go there. Then she says it's an administrative error. If you had raised questions about corruption, and you said there was some corruption there, and based on that you were sacking the coordinator, how do you come back the next day that the corruption that you had insinuated is an administrative error? Then you head on a long leave. But when it's time to vote in parliament for e-levy and other things, you make your way and come to parliament. You are taking salary for no work done. God will ask you. Have we thought about compensation from the bereaved families? Have we thought about compensation for them? Where is the Ministry for Gender, Children and Social Protection? And what is our plan to reclaim and recover the Apiati Township? Or we'll leave it like all those mining sites? I pray we never politicize this. But like I said, if we already start that conversation about ambulances and start giving political capital to it, you are inviting the other side to also tell you why they should look good in the eyes of the citizenry. It will not end well. I want to see an audit. I want to see people being brought to book because we have the template. You get the explosives, somebody inspects it, the experts join it, the escorts join it, it's transported in a special purpose vehicle, it's taken to the location, it's handed over. Of course, the mining company may have some bit of, if you like, some distance for it because until it gets to their site, it is not in their custody, which is right, legally. But I'm saying that from Takwa to Tirano, did they go through a police checkpoint? Where were the escorts? Who was aboard? Who was not? Who inspected it? Who gave it a clean bill of health? Who even asked that? Because even at the base ammunition depot, BAD, even those ones that are in rooms, sometimes they will open the taps and allow it to flow under the thing to cool it. So who okayed it that they should be transported in the afternoon? And will we set up another committee and just go and sleep because Ghanaians are talking? Will we just set up? Now listen to this. Regulation 33 of this one. It says permit to transport explosives. Let me look for 33 quickly, Coco, and let's wrap up on that one. My voice is not in the best of shapes, but it has to be said because we can't continue in this Inshallah and Takashi disaster management kind of thing. Maybe you put it up on the prompter, let me read it. A person who holds an operation license under Regulation 22 to 27 may apply for a permit as set out in Form P in the second schedule to transport a specific type and amount of explosives. 2. A person who transports explosives under Form P permit shall give notice to the Chief Inspector about the type and amount of explosives to be transported at least 48 hours before the explosives are transported. 48 hours, there's a reason, so they can prepare everybody. Regulation 34, selling or possession of explosives without permit. A person shall not sell, give out to another person, or allow another person to take explosives in that person's possession or under the person's control unless the transaction is in accordance with these regulations. A person shall not purchase or acquire a possession of explosives without a permit issued under these regulations. 3. Explosives purchased or acquired under a permit or set out in Form M may be held by the person to whom the permit was issued after the expiration of the permit for the period that the chief inspector may in writing permit. So somebody would have written at this time to permit whatever happened. 4. A person who contravenes sub-regulation commits an offense and is liable to summary conviction, to a fine or more than 1,000 penalty units, or to a term of imprisonment of not less than 4 years, or both. So the people who supervise this should be going to jail by now for 4 years. They have killed people's families. People have died. I want to see the permits that was signed. I want to see who the escorts on that were. I want to see the police escort. I want to know if they went through police checkpoints. I want to know what the Aboboya was doing there. I want to know how they clashed with the Aboboya. I want to know how the explosion happened. I want to find out who will be held culpable for it, because this Matrai Makwe disaster management must end at some point. People's lives matter. NADBO, your job is to prevent disaster. Fire service, your job is to ensure that when people are hurt, it happens. We must wake up and smell the coffee. That's what I'm talking about. Is Ghana disaster ready? Beyond Inshallah and Takashi. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Good morning.